Hey guys, welcome to the stream. All right, getting everything set up. I do not have a face cam because we had our options. We could either have a stream or we could have a nice looking face. And I chose a stream instead of a nice looking face, so we're just having this here instead show. Let's see if it's working. Hopefully it's working. Let me know if you can see this or hear this, anything like that. Probably should have grabbed all the things I need for the stream before I started the stream, but you know, it cuts down the fun of it. So, let's see if I can get comments up on my screen so I can see you guys. Hey everyone! Yes, it's the beginning of the stream. So, if you are just joining us, which is now because I'm just starting this, I'm going to be working on the art for my end clip for my videos. I have an opening animation for my videos that I did a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to do a ending one as well, so I thought that would be fun. So that is what I'm going to work on today. I'm going to work on the art part of it, not the animation part, but just drawing up the art. So that'll be fun. So I have a little thumbnail here. I don't know if you guys can readily see it. Let's see here. So it's this one. I have a little, very rough draft little clip of it. So the two boxes here are the two recommended videos. The little circle is going to be the subscribe button. And I'm just going to draw a little cartoon of myself kind of sitting on a little box that I can have some text and kind of maybe letting people know when my upload dates are and stuff like that. Kind of figure that out as I go. But yeah, so the things I need to animate, I have a sitting base that I'll have to draw that separately. The head, I think I'm going to do in two different forms. I'm going to do the face and bangs, and then I'm going to have the back hair a little to be able to move that around. I'm going to try that. And I think I will have this arm stationary. So I think this part here, if you guys can see it, this part here is going to be stationary. The head will be one part, the hair will be one part, and then I'm going to have the arm kind of gesturing to different clips so that I can rotate this up and down. And then I'm going to have the cartoon's legs out like this so that she can have her legs swinging back and forth. I think that'll be kind of a fun little thing. So yeah, I'm going to do this one this time in Copic markers. My first one I did was in watercolors. So that's a little bit of a different medium for the end clip. So yeah. All right. Yeah. I have had the busiest week, not art related at all. In fact, I've really gotten very little work done with art and my YouTube channel. A lot of things just going on in the household and trying to keep up with it all. So I had a few minutes of quiet in the house. So I thought I'll do a live stream. But if my brains are not here, then you know why. Well, they're just not here. I can see the comments. So someone asked me, can I see the comments? I can. I gotta get myself back in that zone where I can read comments and draw at the same time. I wanted her to draw wolves. I know I need to do a wolf drawing tutorial. Wolf draw. Do you guys notice I say wolf? I never knew that until I started making YouTube videos, and you guys were so kind enough to point that out, which, I mean, actually you guys were kind. You could have been really mean, but everyone was really nice pointing that out. You say what the dog says. It's not a wolf, it's a wolf. Art a la carte. Do I have kids? No, I don't. I'm not married. Don't have any kids. I have a niece. She lives in my house. I live in a house with, that's kind of what the craziness is about. So I rent the upstairs attic space of my friend, and her daughter, who's my age, lives with us. She lives downstairs, and so her daughter has a 7-year-old girl who's adopted me as her auntie, so she's my niece. And then just this week, their grandfather came to live with us. So he is 93, I think, and is just needing a lot of care and attention and a lot of help. So a lot of changes in our house. So that's been keeping me pretty busy. Do I plan to get married? I would have to have someone who I liked to marry. I don't have any. Valentine's Day is a very boring day for me, except for chocolate. I buy myself chocolate, if that's what you're asking. No, you're not asking if I buy chocolate. You're asking if I plan to get married. Yeah. What do I do in my spare time? This week there has been absolutely no spare time, but when I am not drawing, I enjoy going to the movies. If I actually have space in my studio, my hobby, I love sewing, but I rarely have room in my studio to set up my sewing machine. But I love to sew and make costumes. I made Eva a Rapunzel dress. I took her to Disneyland with my mom and dad, and I sewed her a Rapunzel costume, and that was fun. Can I do a drawing tutorial of birds? I've done a couple of different birds. Um, I think I know I've done a couple of owls, I think. I know I've done at least one. I think I've done a realistic one and a cartoony one. Owl. And then I think I've done a couple on bird wings. So if there's a certain kind of bird you'd like, oh, and I did a falcon, done that one as well. But if there's a certain type of animal that you want, just leave those, not in the comment here because I might not see it, but just go to the newest video that I made and you can always leave your request there. And I usually just take the most popular requested ones and try to do tutorial videos on that. So, like I've been getting a ton of drawing dog videos, different breeds. So this last week I put the husky video on because it was inspired by the editor on races, and I thought it'd be fun to do a husky. But I've actually done a husky before, which kind of turned out looking more like a Malamute. So I decided to do a husky puppy, which some people have claimed still looks like a Malamute. So Malamute, I can't say it. Do I have any pets? We have a dog named Dot. She's Chihuahua, and then everything else in her. She's a proper mutt. We have 6 chickens, which we thought had not been laying for the longest time. We'd been letting them out during the day so they could free range, but they weren't laying until we found their nest in underneath our rose bush, and there was like 26 eggs. So now they're in chicken jail until they give us at least 5 eggs, and then we let them out each day. So, and then we used to have a little tiny goldfish that we won at the fair. You know those kind of games where you toss the ping pong ball in and you get it in, you get the goldfish. So someone was playing that at the fair and won the goldfish and didn't want to keep it, so they gave it to Eva. So we've had this goldfish, but we raised it so it got big enough, and then we have released it into our church's goldfish pond. So it's now free and wild and doing very well. And I think that's all of our pets. Yeah. Oh, the goldfish name was Magic Carp because Eva and I are nerds and I'm raising her right. And so, yeah. What is my favorite drawing that I have done? My all-time favorite is the blue eyes one. Let's see, I don't want to write that way. I'm talking, not drawing. But I really do my timepiece, the girl with the wings kind of crying that I did for the YouTube Artist Collective. That is very quickly becoming, I think, my favorite piece. And I really do like the snow leopard that I did for the last YouTube Artist Collective. And I really like this one I just did with the redraw that I did, where I took the old one I did, I think in 2003, and then redrew this. So I really like that piece. And I like asking artists to say their favorite is like asking their favorite kid. I really love how this one turned out, this dragon piece. Which you can tell I enjoyed this one because this piece, I think I created like 3 videos based on that. I was like, okay, enough of the dragon. Goodness, everyone's going to get tired of it. Did I hear about what happened in the races? I didn't. And your comment just went bloop up, so I missed what happened. But I'll have to look it up. Hope it wasn't something sad. What is your best way to get your art out there? I have Instagram and Twitter and have gotten some attention, but what do you think? I find you're on the right track with Twitter and Instagram. Also, Tumblr is a really popular one. I have a Tumblr account, but rarely remember to post anything to it. So, and then upon those communities, you can, using your hashtags can really be beneficial, and commenting on other artists' pages is really nice too. You want to, when I say commenting on other artists' pages, not just going onto people's channels and Instagram posts and saying, hey, look at my art, check my art out, come see my channel, because that's really annoying. But strike up a conversation with the actual artist and kind of try to build a friendship with them. And then see if you can work out doing collabs, because that benefits both artists, so that the people that are following you on your Instagram or YouTube channels can then find the other artists, and their followers can find you, and it just works really well. But I get requests a lot to do collabs with people. I generally stick with people that I built kind of a friendship with. So yeah, comment on their stuff, ask questions, things like that. Hashtag draw more wolves. I have a lot of wolf tutorials. I was going to do a wolf one this week. I looked through all my tutorials and I have a lot of videos out there. I was trying to think of anything new I could actually do. I could do just a wolf piece. Why is for smile not turning out? I had to switch pencils. Hang on. I'm not looking at comments right now. I'm trying to find a pencil that I like, but I can't find it. Hold on a minute. We'll try green. What's my favorite brand of marker to use? I like Copics. Though, did you guys, there's a couple of new markers out there that look pretty good. Bailey just put a video up today talking about the new Blick brand of markers, which looks pretty cool. And I apologize if you hear trucks driving past, because the car, or the window, no, car window is open. My studio window is open, so it is a little noisy outside. Can you say something about where you can find good references of photos for people? I want to practice anatomy. I give a lot of references out in my How to Draw People 101 series. If you're wanting specific anatomy poses for drawing, referencing the nude model. There's a really good website that has both. You can choose both clothes models and nude models, but I will warn you, if you choose clothes models, sometimes nude models pop up. They are appropriate pictures, but they are, you know, artist nude models. And I know that's not comfortable for some people. So for those who don't want to have that, I find reference photos of dance and sports to be really helpful. Also, if you go onto DeviantArt, there's a huge community on DeviantArt that posts reference photos. They are amazing. In fact, some of you guys may know it, so if you know it, you can link to any of the DeviantArt accounts in the chats for people. I have several that I watch myself. Let me see if I can. I don't want to mess up the. I'm afraid to go on my computer because I'm afraid I'll mess up the stream. But if you send me a message or something, or ask me in the comments after the stream, I will see if I can link you to some of my favorite reference deviant art people. I won first place out of 1,000 kids when I was 4 and drew the 3 little pigs. That's so cool. I've already said this, but I've only been watching for a few minutes. Have I ever made any plushies? I have made a few plushies. Let me show you what. I think it's cute. Eva tries to steal it all the time, but it's a little s'more. Isn't he cute? So he's got little graham crackers and some chocolate sauce and a marshmallow. So that's my s'more plushie. He sits on my shelves, and Eva always is trying to hint that she wants him. But I'm like, no, it's my s'more. So if you're just joining the stream and wondering why I've drawn this girl's head and this disjointed body, I'm going to be turning this into an animation. So I need to draw all the different parts separately so that I can then put them together and animate them. And if you want a video, to see the video how I kind of did this a little bit, or some more information about it, I left a link to that video in the description box of this video. I say video a lot. And you can definitely go and check it out. You can even go right now. Watch it and come back to the stream. I'll try not to do anything too cute. Have I ever hated a drawing so much that I wanted to burn it? Okay, story time! So, if you guys have watched my Draw My Life video, then you'll remember the part where my sister and I got to go to Disney Studios and talk with Eric Goldberg. And just super great, encouraging information from them. At the time, I was just 17, so I wasn't old enough to actually apply for Disney yet. So he just encouraged me to keep drawing and said, you know, hey, you could take some college classes, because I was graduated from college or high school already at 17. So he said, take some college classes on, you know, whatever your local college offers. So I thought, okay. So I went and took an anatomy class, and it was my first experience in drawing from live nude models, and kind of traumatized me a little bit. So after the class was over, I took some of the artwork that I did not like and ceremoniously burned it. Like, I put it out and like put matchsticks around it so that when it would burn, it burned in this really cool pattern. It was really fun. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever actually, well, sometimes I like have so much like sketches like this that I'll use them as fire starter, because they're nothing but just little blobby sketches. So, yee. love it when you guys draw with me. And I love it when you guys show me what you draw at the end of the stream. Like sometimes you guys will send me little pictures of what you have drawn in the stream, like tag me in your Instagram photos and stuff like that. And seriously, I know I say that like at the end of my videos, you know, tag me in your Instagram photos, or I really do love looking at them. I don't always get a chance to comment on all of them. I try to comment on as many as I can, but sometimes it's a little bit challenging because I get a lot, but I do try to look at as many as I possibly can, especially if you tag me, like tag or instant message it to me. Yeah, if you just put my name in the comments, I don't always see those, but if you actually like direct message me on Instagram or on Facebook, I generally get through those. Is April in the chat? I haven't even seen my sister in the chat yet. Yeah, there she is. So if you see Miss April, that's my sister. She can tell you all the tales. And some of them might even be true. Alright, so we need... So what tool am I using? Like right now, I'm using a Cool Erase color pencil to draw with. And then I'll use Copic markers to color it. And then for the actual animation process, I will scan that in and then do that in probably Photoshop. I won't do that part on the stream though. I'm just going to do the sketching and hopefully some of the coloring. I don't have a lot of time. So if you were here at the beginning of the stream, I explained how he's not my real grandpa, but I kind of consider him my grandpa, has moved in with us. And right now he's at a doctor's appointment. So I had a few minutes to come up and do a stream. So yeah. If you were doing watercolor, that's just for practice. And how long does it take you? How long does it take me to do a watercolor picture? Depends on what piece I'm doing. Like some of them I can generally get done in the evening. Other ones, like if I'm doing like a serious piece for like the YouTube Artist Collective or a commission, or I'm wanting to do a really finalized piece to sell, it can take me a couple of days. If any art takes me over 2 or 3 days, I tend to lose interest in it and move on to something else. So I have a couple of really big paintings that are sitting in shelves and have never been finished. I get bored easily. All right, now let's put on the legs. The nice thing about this is you can get it roughly the right size, but even if it's not, once I get it into Photoshop, I can size it a little bit better, which is nice. So I've had a lot of people asking for like cartoon commissions, and if I'm accepting cartoon commissions. And I was thinking about doing a stream where I do cartoon commissions on the stream. And so either setting up an account on Etsy that people can go in and get the information to, and I'll take them off of that, or even, I don't know, maybe setting it up with Super Chat or something. But I thought that might be fun. So what do you guys think? Do you think doing a live stream cartoon commissions would be fun? Not today, because I don't have time to do it today, but in the future would be fun? Because I've had a couple people use Super Chat, and I really like to reward, like have a reward for people who do Super Chat, because it's just so sweet. For those of you who don't know about Super Chat, is at the bottom where it has your comments, there's a little money sign. And so there's a new feature that YouTube has that people can donate money to the stream. I think that's awesome, but I really feel like you guys should be getting something for doing that. So I thought it would be fun to do a super chat kind of cartoon commission thing. So mainly the super chat is used for people to get their comments noticed in like the big streams where, I mean, my stream moves fairly quickly, but there's some that you just can't hardly even see what people are saying. So super chat kind of highlights your comment even more, and keeps it up at the top so people can read it. So definitely these legs are way too big, so I'll shrink those down when they're in Photoshop. All right, but now I want to put in this hand. So I will probably do a quick video after I finish making this and getting this all colored up, where I won't have this footage in it. So to see this part, you have to come back and rewatch the stream. But I will record the doing this on the computer and getting it scanned in and stuff like that, if that's something you guys are interested in. Do I speak any other languages? I barely speak English sometimes. So no, I know a few words in like sign language, but not very much. Nothing to write home with. Oh, this is so hard for some reason because I want to make this the opposite hand, but I need to. Okay, hang on. You can do that. You can do that. Hang on, I gotta do a trick here. I gotta get my eyeball to think that that's that part right there, so I can get that hand right. Why am I not able to draw that hand? Hang on, I gotta sketch this out so it looks normal. And if you've asked a question and I've missed it, feel free to ask it again in a few minutes. Sometimes I'm just not, like right now, not looking at the chat because I'm trying to figure out my art. Why does that look weird? Okay, I guess it's better. All right, and then the back of her hair. Do I like Melanie Martinez? Yeah, she's got some fun songs. I like her style. She's got a fun. I like artists that are like music artists and other people who have their own sense of fashion and don't just fit into the contemporary mode of what looks cool. So that always fascinates me. I think I could easily have been that kind of person to have just a wacky, weird style. Can I do a video one day on tips and advice for someone who's just starting out and wants to start a YouTube channel? I have been thinking about that. So you want to start a YouTube channel? Kind of little series, maybe YouTubing 101. So that's definitely something I have thought about. I know I would have loved to have a video like that when I was first starting out, because there was not as much information as there is now. There is actually quite a lot of really good YouTube resources out there. But it's fun to kind of get the insider scoop, especially when it comes to specific genres of channels. So, for an art channel, there's some definite things to think about. Am I going to do anything related to Beauty and the Beast? I did. I created you guys an amazing video where I did a beautiful piece based on a photo from Tracy Hines, she's a YouTuber as well, and also amazing cosplayer, recorded it. It was amazing, and then promptly deleted all the footage. So this was the piece here that I did, which I absolutely loved. This was going to go up as Wednesday's video. Alas, I have it only as this. I do want to create a Beauty and the Beast, themed piece, but I just got so sad when I deleted all that footage. That piece probably took me maybe about 5 hours to do that. So sad. But I will try again. I just have to get over the sadness. And I haven't seen the movie yet, so if you've seen the movie, no spoilers. Not that I don't know how it ends, because yeah. But who knows? Maybe they take a really weird twist in the end, and instead of the beast being turned into a human, Belle gets turned into a beast. Wouldn't that be a switch? I saw fan art one time where I've done gender swaps for stories, but they did one for Beauty and the Beast, which I thought was just, I didn't know if it worked or if it did. It was just, wow, I just never thought of making the Beast the girl and Belle the prince. Or, yeah, it was interesting. All right. Have I seen Logan? Yes, I have. Oh, that movie is, oh. So, it's not your average X-Men movie, but I did enjoy it. But I will tell you that it is rated R for a reason. And yeah, if you're expecting just the fun X-Men movie, but it was very, very good. I liked it. Okay, so here are my sketches. For those of you who are just following me or just starting the stream, I'm doing an animation, so I had to color all the different moving parts separately so that I can put them together in Photoshop later and animate them. So now I'm gonna color them. Can I talk about how I got started in digital art and what I used? Okay, so the very first digital art that I did was actually when I was maybe 11. Where's my E00? There it is. And my parents took me to this kind of a community center, but they had different classes for kids, and they were just trying to, it wasn't specifically art even. I remember they had a photography class. And if they did have an art class there, it didn't impress me because I don't remember that part. But I do remember they had computers for you to play on. Now, this was before people had computers. It was really rare for you to have a home computer. So this was my first time ever like playing on one. And they had the paint program there. And so I could draw with the mouse, and I was so excited. So I drew this picture of a fish tank with a fish in it. And then I found you could put text in it, and while you were typing on the text, if you stopped typing, the little cursor would do this little flip thing. It had like a little triangle, and it would flip back and forth. And so I put the triangle right over top of where the fish fin was, and it made my first animation. I was so excited. But that was my first unofficial stepping into drawing digitally. And then it was many, many, many years later, and I'd seen just illustrations and how smooth the coloring looked, and I just wondered how artists did that. And then finally realized that they were coloring them digitally. And so I looked into it, and of course at the time Photoshop was, several $100s to purchase Photoshop. So I didn't get into it right away, but finally was able to purchase a copy of Photoshop and got a Wacom tablet, bamboo tablet. So it's the little kind that just like a little piece of plastic, and you draw on it, and then it's plugged into your computer so you look at your monitor. And that just opened up a whole new world of art for me. So I used that for, goodness, 10 years. Sorry about the motorcycles. It's just why things go. And then just this last 4 or 5 years, my bamboo finally gave up on me, so I had to upgrade And I decided to go ahead and do the big jump, and I upgraded to the Cintiq, which is kind of what you see me use now when I do digital art and show you a screen where you draw on the actual monitor screen. And it's pretty cool, but it's very, very, very expensive. So I had to save up quite a while for it. Hang on, I'm looking for an eraser that I like. You're wondering, what is Valerie? It sounds like she's climbing a mountain. No, I'm climbing through my art supplies. Where is my eraser? Ever have like that favorite art tool and then you lose it amongst all your other favorite art tools? And that's what's happening. It's fine. I use this. I didn't need my click eraser. Do I like Alice in Wonderland? Yes, I do. Alice in Wonderland is one of my all-time favorite fairy tales. I love Alice in Wonderland, I love Peter Pan. In fact, Alice in Wonderland was one of those, any kind of movie or cartoon version. If I ever woke up from a nightmare, that's what I would put on. I don't know why, because it's about a girl who's dreaming, but I always loved watching that when I was trying to get out of my being scared from nightmares when I was a kid. What tablet would you recommend for beginning digital artists? I don't think they're called Bamboos anymore, but Wacom brand tablets, any of them are really good. But I think they're called Intuos, blah. Yeah, they're called that, without the blah part. But they're just, do I even have mine anymore? So this is what it looks like. This is my Bamboo. So this screen doesn't light up, but you just plug it into your computer and then you draw on this, and then it just appears on the monitor of your screen. And so this one here was under $100 when I bought it. I think it was like $60 for it. And again, I used this thing for 10 plus years. Loved it, and I would highly recommend that. Even for just casual, people who just like to, here and there, like to play with digital art. It makes digital art so much more fun and so much easier. And it's a little bit of an investment, but not super extreme. But yeah, I would highly recommend that. If you just go to the Wacom website, they kind of give you a list of all their different levels of tablets and all that. I think that Jazz is going to be doing a review on their tablets coming up in the next week or two. So if you don't follow Draw with Jazza, definitely Google him, check him out. He has an amazing YouTube channel as well. But he will have, I think, a review on that. I think I saw in his video was talking about it. So yeah. I don't know what WYR stands for, but it says Val, WYR, draw digitally or traditionally. What would WYR stand for? Would you rather? Would you rather? I bet that's what it is. Okay. Would I rather draw traditionally or digitally? I go through phases. Right now, I've been in a traditional art phase for quite a while, but the projects that I'm working on off YouTube are both digital, so I've been doing a lot of that lately, but it's all things I'm doing when I'm not making a YouTube video, because I can't show anyone yet. But I like them both. They both have their pluses and minuses. I like digital art because it's easy to edit and fix things, and you have a lot more freedom because you have like all these art supplies in one computer program. But when you're done, you don't have necessarily a physical copy. Where with traditional art, when you finish, you have the physical piece. But then you have to store it. And then when you sell it, you don't have the original anymore. So, pluses and minuses with both of them. I can't watch him because my older sister says He's her YouTuber. She's not going to share. Not sharing Jazza, huh? Well, I think Jazza would say share and share alike, is what I think. But all right, hair color. I have kind of dark hair. Let's start off with a undertone. Should I go with a purple undertone or a brown undertone? I should go with purple because it's kind of my undertone. What is the best shading supplies? Really there's no like shading supplies that are better. There's shading techniques. And you can do all of those things with any supply, with whether it's markers or paints or color pencils. I don't know if that's one that I can actually like really answer in this kind of video. I think I would have to do a tutorial, which I've done a couple of different tutorials on shading and highlighting. But yeah, just kind of learning. It's not always just the darkest shade. Like if you want to, when I was adding shadow here, yeah, I went through with a little bit of a darker tone, but then instead of going with a darker tone of the skin color, I went with like a purple and used that as shading. And so it's one of my tricks. What are my favorite color pencils? I've always used Prismacolors, so I don't have a lot to reference them against. I know there's a lot of really good brands out there. And I recently picked up a set of Faber-Castell pencils, and I really enjoy them. But I have a huge collection of Prismacolors, and when you invest as much as it costs to get art supplies, you generally don't jump from one brand to another really quickly because you know you put in a couple $100s into art supplies. It's a little spendy to always be trying out the newest and best. Metallic paints! There hopefully won't be any metallic paints in this one. Is my sister ordering pizza? I was talking about pizza, man. No, you can't order pizza. I'm not close enough. Sorry, I got into the mode of coloring and forgot to talk. Oh, goodness. So why no paints? I wanted to try to use different mediums in the opening animation and the closing animation to kind of showcase that I'm not a one medium artist. So I chose watercolors for the first one, or for the opening, because that's the art medium that I first kind of fell in love with, was watercolor. So I kind of wanted to pay homage to that. And then decided to do Copics for the closing animation because that's the newest kind of art supply that I've fallen for fill that all in there. Most of this is going to be hidden behind her head, but I wanted to make it so I could have the hair wiggle a little bit when she moves. What if I just ordered pizza to Valerie? Thank you, but I live in an area that pizza people don't deliver to. It's so sad. It's the price for living out in the wilderness of a small town. There's one nice thing about living in the big city when I lived in Spokane is pizza delivery. We did find a sushi restaurant that has agreed to deliver to us because I guess we eat there enough that they're like, yeah, we'll deliver to you. So, yeah, have not taken them up on that one yet, but So everyone comment what your favorite like food is. Like if you could have any kind of what I consider comfort food. Like my mom, I think her comfort food is tacos. No, nachos. She loves nachos. What is your comfort food? Yes, the marker is almost dead. Let's refill the marker. Do. Refill marker time. So E00. So if you've never seen how to refill a Copic marker before, this is not the professional way to do it, but the professional way they have you buy a syringe, like a art syringe, and this is, I think, one of the most common ways to refill your Copic markers. You just dribble the ink in and you try to get it into the marker and not all over your hands. Yep, just dribbled. Dribbly. Almost there. You're also supposed to count how many drops you drop in. I never do. I just wait, and when the other end gets nice and juicy, I know it's ready. Oh wait, that's all yucky. It's yucky. Hang on, I'm gonna baby wipe. There we go. Now let's see. Oh, so much better. Okay. Am I going to keep the pencil and the paper? I don't know. That might be something of the past. I might throw it in every once in a while just for kind of funness. Funness? That's a new word. Funness. Let's have funness with art like art. I thought I could incorporate it into the opening one, but the animation's so short. I'd have to speed it up and sound like chipmunks. Pencil and a paper in the backpack. Just like these animations, I'll probably create several different opening and ending ones as I go and kind of swap them in and out. Keep things new and exciting. I think it makes for fun, interesting things going on the channel. There's some channel creators that create new graphics, like banners and things like that, for each month. And I'm like, ooh, I think it's cool, but I definitely don't have that much time to do it. Okie dokie. Sorry you're sick, Jade. That's no fun. Have I ever tried Loft colored pencils? I have. I'm trying to think if I have. No, I haven't. I've seen them, but I've never tried that brand. The one that I'm thinking of, I think they're like a student grade, but I'm not positive. Which I might. Is that the brand that you can get at Michael's? I think it is. They shouldn't be that expensive. I might pick up some. I always pick up student grade art supplies, try them out, and then give them to Eva to play with. But she has become a marker girl. I don't know who's influencing her to be a marker person, but she says she likes markers better. Could it possibly be because I let her play with my Copic markers once? Yeah, I'm the best auntie. Alright, now I gotta come up with a color scheme. I didn't think that far. Let's do a yellowish shirt, I think. Where's my Copic chart? Yeah. Alright. I think it'd be nice to have kind of a rosy pink background. So then if we go with a nice, let's do whiting for the shirt and maybe a red skirt. Definitely doesn't go with my hair, but rarely do my clothes ever match my hair. In fact, it's really fun the days that my clothes actually do match my purple hair. And people are like, wow, your clothes match your hair. And I tell them, I know, I dye my hair to match my clothes. And they're like, really? And I'm like, no, not really. Ooh, green would have been a fun one too. Sometimes when I'm drawing myself as a cartoon character and coloring clothes, I actually draw the clothes that I'm wearing because I don't want to think about it too much. I'm like, well, this is what I'm wearing, so let's just draw it. But I'm not drawing what I'm wearing today because, as I said at the beginning of the stream, that's why there's no face cam. With the way my week's been going, we were either going to get a stream with no face cam, or I was actually going to be presentable that day, but no stream. And I chose a stream instead. I am going to attempt to get dressed at some point because I really would like to go see Beauty and the Beast today, but I don't foresee that happening. But I do need to go to the post office because I have about 3 or 4 orders for my Etsy shop that need to go out today. So yeah, that might have to happen. I don't know. Artist Loft markers are streaky. That's good to know. Not good that they're streaky, but good to know that they're streaky. There is a brand on Amazon that I'm looking at getting and trying out and then giving them to Eva. And they have several different degrees of markers. So they have a brush nib. I can't remember the name of them. I've never heard of them before, so they're probably not the best brand, but they're not very expensive, so that's, you know, if people are looking for something to kind of get started in and just play around with. I feel it's good to start off with a cheaper brand, especially with markers, because there's a lot of things you can do to destroy your marker And if you're going to learn what those are, it's best to learn on cheap markers and destroy them. And then when you get expensive markers like Copics or whatever else you want to invest in, then you know how to better care for your marker, especially with brush nibs, because all of the brush nib is all these little fibers that are pulled together, so it actually acts like a paintbrush. So if I push too hard or in the wrong way, it could actually break the fibers off and it'll start splitting the nib itself, and then I have to replace the nib, which is not fun. So you definitely want to learn how to guide your brush nib and not push it around. One thing I like about this, and you'll see that some of my markers, the brush nibs are really dirty, like this one here is really, really kind of stained on the top. Even when they get stained though, it does not affect their color, which I think is awesome. Like some markers you run over like the yellow over your blue, and your marker from then on has a green tinge to it. This one, it might get a little bit on it, but you just rub it off on a slip of paper to the side, and it takes that off and does not cross-contaminate permanently. It may stain it though. So in my closet, I actually have maybe 3 or 4 pairs of shoes. I'm not a huge shoe person, but in any of my drawings, I love shoes that match the outfit. So I think subconsciously I'm a shoe person, but I almost forgot the sleeve. I think if I could own like every color of the rainbow in ballet flats, I totally would. Ballet flats and Converse are my favorite type of shoe. Both are extremely uncomfortable. Well, Converses can be. They just don't have a lot of support in them, but you can get like the inserts and stuff. But yeah. Alright, let's finish up the face. Duck blue. I love that color, duck blue. I love the name. I love when they name their marker something that just is inspiring to draw or eat. My last batch of art supplies that I just purchased, I got one marker just because I wanted the name of the marker. It was cotton candy, and I wanted it, so I bought it. I'm going to be having, that's, I think Saturday's video, tomorrow's video, is a trifecta video. It's 3 things in it. So it's an art haul, a review, and a 3 marker challenge. So that'll be pretty fun, I think. Yes, I love high top Converses. My favorite pair is I have a bright red pair of Converse high tops. So fun. And then my mom, Mama Flynn, bought me sequence, rainbow sequence ones. I'm sure, as I say, those are my formal ones. Sorry if you've answered this question before, but any tips on fan art, like when you're doing too much fan art and not enough original art? Any tips? I love fan art. In fact, if you were hanging out in my last stream, my challenge for myself is to fill the sketchbook up with nothing but fan art, because fan art for me is so inspiring. But you kind of get a sneak peek at some of the pieces I've done since then. I find that if you enjoy doing fan art, create fan art that hasn't been made before. So, trying to see if I can find a piece of artwork around here. No, I can't. So you see like the marketing pictures of a character, and you can draw that exact marketing picture, or you can take that as a reference and create your character, or create that character doing something different or interacting in some way different. Okay, here we go. Ugh. Okay, so like I've seen so many people draw this Elsa, like a gazillion people, and they're amazing drawings and they're beautiful. But the ones that I love to look at are the ones of Elsa doing something that we've never seen her do in the movies or the books. Um, that makes me go, thinking about, what are the things she's done in her life. Maybe, she's sitting around looking at a tulip. I don't know. I've never seen her do that. So if someone were to draw a picture of Elsa looking at an ice tulip, that would be exciting for me. And it also helps you to create something that's not solely based on something you're looking at. So you have a good reference for it, but you're also pushing yourself. And that'll help you to begin to transition from creating just only what you're looking at to then creating things completely from your own imagination. So it's a nice segue. Hopefully that answers your question. Draw Yander Chan. I don't know who Yander Chan is. I'm so out of the loop. And I don't know who Jojo Suiwa is, please. I don't know. So, sorry. I only usually draw fan art of things that I know what they are. But somehow, I probably should write that down and Google it or something. What type of paper do I usually use for Copics? You can use Bristol. Works pretty good. I like to use just cardstock. So I have, let me see what. I'm looking to see what weight it is. I have a couple different weights. Hang on. That sounded really weird when I said that. It is 80-pound weight cardstock. There's 110-pound weight. You want something that's smooth. And any type of paper that you're going to use, you test it first. You just take a marker. I can do it on this because I can Photoshop this out. But you take your marker and you put it to the paper and you hold it for like 3 seconds. And you pull it out and you see how fast that ink spot spreads as you're holding it. And if you see it just begin to just grow really fast, you know you're going to have a feathering paper, which isn't so good for your markers. You're going to want something that when you put the marker down, it's not going to feather out. And that's going to help you to be able to blend. Not that you can't use paper that feathers, but it's just a little bit more challenging. But I find like a really nice smooth paper works really good. I am doing a review on paper on Saturday's video of some paper that I thought would work good with markers, so you can check that one out. I talk a little bit more about that in Saturday's video. So, yeah. I should draw Coda. The only Coda I know is from Brother Bear, but I'm not sure if that's who you're talking about. Do I watch Steven Universe? I don't have regular TV, so I've seen a couple of episodes on YouTube of Steven Universe. It was very cute. I'm not cute. I mean, it's cute, but if you've seen Steven Universe, you know it's like deep. So if they ever like go streaming on Netflix or Amazon Prime, then I'll be able to watch them. I know some people have said they on other places. I think maybe Hulu, but they don't have the. I haven't been able to find like the first. Someplace has the first season. So I don't want to like start watching in the middle. And usually places like Hulu, they kind of start you off in the middle. Same thing with Adventure Time. I want to watch Adventure Time, but I don't want to skip the first couple of. I can watch. I've watched the first 3 seasons of Adventure Time, but that's all they got for me. get some bacon and put it in a pancake. I know, it sounds so good. I feel, when the stream is over and people go back to rewatch the stream when it's not live, and you don't have the comments going, it just loses something. I wish they could do it where you can actually watch the comments, because that's what makes streaming so much more fun than watching just a regular video, as I get to interact with you. But once the stream is over, it's a little bit more challenging, because I just randomly say things and people are like, why did she randomly talk about bacon and pancake? Because the stream's talking about it. I think that's also another thing with Twitch. If I start streaming on there, I think if you rewatch a Twitch stream, I think you have like a week or so to watch past streams, but I think you can read the chat as it goes. So I know there's a lot of comments going on right now about suggestions for things for me to draw. I love getting those kinds of comments and suggestions, but I recommend to go to an existing video and place those comments there, because this is what I'm drawing in this stream, so I'm not going to do any requests for this stream. But I actually have a link in this video that will take you to the video where I did the opening animation. So go ahead and click that link and go to that video, and any kind of requests that you have for videos, just put them in the comments of that video. That's where I will go look next, since I have that link one in there. So it's in the description of this video. Go down, click that, and then in the comments, comment away. And then I'll know kind of what you guys are looking for as far as what videos I should do next. Okay, this looks like a bum, but it's not. It's her legs. Just realized it's not a bum. It's so indecent. It's her little legs, but these have to get attached. But I'm animating her legs, so her legs are going to connect onto here. But until then, it looks like I'm drawing her bum. I'm sorry. Now I'm embarrassed. Just put my eraser there. You can put them in any video suggestions, but I will go specifically to that video at the end of this video and look at your guys' comments. So, yeah. What animation studio do I use? For this one, this specific type of animation, I'm going to use probably Photoshop. I don't actually do the animations. I mean, yeah, I do the animation in Photoshop, yeah. You could do it in just a photo, using a photo editing software to make each frame, and then do it in a video editing software if you don't have Photoshop. I kind of cover all those, a little bit of that in the video linked below, and I kind of give you a resource to go and check that out. And the people that I learned this from kind of go into a lot more detail as to different options that you can use when animating. But just doing regular animation that I do, I like to use the Clip Studio Paint Pro software. That one works really well. Do I like Star Wars? Yes, I do. I'm definitely a Star Wars fan. I do the waiting in line for 12 hours to see the film. That and Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, I was such a big fan that I actually spent the night in a tent in the middle of winter in downtown Portland, Oregon, to see all three trilogies back to back to back to back, back to back to back. And the first two were the extended edition version. So, and I was in full costume. I was an elf. So I decided to go back over with some colored pencils and do my outlining, and then just add a little extra shadows with these. And that's one thing I love about Copic marker, well, in any kind of marker, is that it works so great with color pencils. But you have to do the Copic marker first and then the color pencil on top. Copic marker does not generally like to sit on top of colored pencils, but colored pencils love to go on top of Copic markers. And with that, I think we're just about done with this. I'm going to let it rest, and then I can finish up anything I need to fix, and then I will animate that, but I will do that off stream just because I definitely won't be talking in that. So much focus going on. But yeah, so I think that's about everything for this stream. So again, if you guys have any suggestions for upcoming video tutorials or ideas, you can leave them in the comments directly after this video is over. I'm going to be going to the video that I have linked below, and I'll check all the comments there. Also, if you have any questions that I didn't answer in the stream, you want to ask, just ask them in that video, and I will try to answer as many as I can. But thank you guys. I know this wasn't as long as some of my other streams, but I thought this would be better than nothing. Hopefully in the next week, things will kind of calm down in my house a little bit, and I will be able to do more streams with you guys in the future, longer ones too. So, okay, well, thank you guys, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.